Great. Welcome, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Abja. I joined VOLS as the executive director earlier this year. Super excited to see everyone here today. As you all know, our theme for this year is New York Together, honoring pro bono leadership during the crisis and beyond. You're going to hear more from me during the main event, so I'm going to keep my remarks right now really short. I'll just say we're really excited for the event and for this reception, which we are hoping that you'll find fun and be just a little bit different. We're going to have breakout rooms bringing together all of our VOLS leaders, including our board, our honorees, our staff, and other guests. I am also just going to say a quick thank you to our sponsors, our event chair, Aiken Gump, and a very huge congratulations to all of our awardees, Erin Law from Morgan Stanley, Harleen Katzmann from Simpson Thatcher, and Mohan and Aisha Green from Cadwalader. Huge congrats to all of you. And also love to recognize our inaugural Dean's List, all of the pro bono stars who have done amazing work on behalf of New Yorkers this past year. We really appreciate all that you've done. And so I am gonna, to kick things off, I'm gonna turn it over to Jim Windels, longtime VOLS board member, former chair of our board, and with Davis Polk, who is gonna just take a couple of minutes to help us look back on the role of pro bono during times of crisis in the past. Jim?
Thank you, Abja, and let me add my very warm welcome to everyone, and my thanks to all our sponsors and supporters, and my congratulations to all our honorees and pro bono stars. We're particularly proud to celebrate our honorees and pro bono stars this year, given the challenges that we've all undergone over the last 15 months. We should all be proud that the incredible work you have done is part of a long historical legacy of the New York pro bono community, rising to challenges and giving of themselves selflessly when the needs are greatest. VOLS was founded in 1984 in response to an acute crisis then faced by the most vulnerable New Yorkers, given sudden and extreme cutbacks in federal funding for legal services. And working with the New York City Bar Association, the leaders of several New York firms founded VOLS to facilitate the provision of pro bono lawyers working in the public interest. Continuing the theme of responding to challenges, after the attack on the World Trade Centers in September 2001, the New York pro bono community and VOLS rallied once again in a time of great need for our city's poorest residents. At that time, I was serving as chair of the City Bar's Pro Bono and Legal Services Committee, and Bill Dean, the executive director of VOLS, whose legacy we will honor later in the program, was one of our most prominent members. The City Bar, VOLS, and the New York pro bono community once again rose to the challenge. I still remember distinctly the line of pro bono volunteers which stretched from the doors of the City Bar on 44th Street all the way down to 6th Avenue and around the corner and all the way downtown on 6th Avenue to 43rd Street. It was an astounding display of volunteerism at one of the lowest points in our city's history. Over the past year, new crises have befallen us, involving profound issues of racial justice and the terrible consequences of the COVID pandemic. Our neediest citizens have once again been the most vulnerable to these crises. And once again, the New York pro bono community and VOLS and the City Bar have rallied. We have risen to the challenges. We have identified and analyzed the needs of our poorest citizens. We have thought creatively about how each of us can provide help, and we have rolled up our sleeves and provided that help. So congratulations again to all of our honorees and pro bono stars we are recognizing today. You are all continuing the legacy of an incredible history of the New York pro bono legal community, rising to the direst challenges in the times of the greatest needs. We're very pleased that one of our honorees from last year, Sheila Boston, current president of the New York City Bar Association, partner at Arnold and Porter, and ex officio member of the VOLS board, has joined us to say a few words of further welcome. So over to you, Sheila.
Thank you so much, Jim, and thank you, Abja. It's so wonderful to be here. Hello to all my friends and colleagues in the New York pro bono community. It's really great to be here with you. And you know, we really are a community, aren't we? Whether at the New York City Bar Association, where I'm currently president, or at Volunteers of Legal Service, where I'm an ex officio board member, I see the same values of service, of generosity of spirit, of wanting to make the world a better place. Those values tie us all together. And sometimes I even see the same people. In fact, I was looking around earlier. I saw a lot of the same folks. And of course, there are people who tie us together, aren't there? In fact, I'd like to take a moment at this opportunity, because it's just in my heart, to honor one such person who I believe tied our particular community together on a rare and grand scale, but who unfortunately left us last week. I'm speaking of none other than Judge Robert A. Katzmann, the former Chief Judge of the Second Circuit. Yes, thank you, Jim. Aside from his day job, leading one of our nation's most important courts, he used his position and his voice to increase access to justice and effect systemic change. He made a clarion call for pro bono service in delivering the City Bar's Orison S. Martin Memorial Lecture back in 2007, describing the lawyer's function as grounded in quote unquote role morality, and saying that a lawyer's duty to serve those unable to pay is not an act of charity or benevolence alone, but rather one of professional responsibility, reinforced by the terms under which the state has granted to the profession effective control of the legal system. Now, more specifically, our beloved Judge Katzmann offered support of historic proportions for the rights of immigrants. The title of his lecture was "The Legal Profession and the Unmet Needs of the Immigrant Poor." Now, the stark contrast in the success rate of immigrants facing deportation with and without legal representation propelled him beyond speech into actual action. The Katzmann Study Group he started, and which met in the early mornings before court, has become pro bono law for its inspiration to a generation of public interest lawyers and for having created the nation's first public defender system for immigrants facing deportation, the New York Immigrant Family Unity Project and the Immigrant Justice Corps Fellowship. Judge Katzmann told us and showed us what a difference a lawyer makes. And isn't that why so many of us became lawyers? I know that's my reason, to make a difference. And I think that's what we're celebrating today. The difference that each and every one of you, that you make in people's lives and in how people are actually treated in our society. Personally, I couldn't be more proud of how our New York pro bono community has responded to the pandemic. Our organizations jumped right in with programs to help frontline healthcare workers with life planning, to help small businesses stay afloat, to help families in homeless shelters get the Wi-Fi they need for remote schooling, and so much more. All while doing our part to advance social justice at a time of racial reckoning, serious threats to the rule of law, a destabilizing of our economy and work lives, and quite frankly, a testing of everyone's mental and emotional health. Well, congratulations to VOLS, its staff and volunteers for the great and awesome work in which they engage to improve the lives of the most vulnerable in our society. And congratulations to the specific heroes and sheroes being honored today. I'm in awe of you. I know, firmly believe, that Judge Katzmann would be proud as well. He was dear to me, so forgive me. I just had to lift him up today. And I must say, I too am so very proud to be a part of this community. So kudos and blessings to all of you, and let's do it, New York, together. Thanks so much, Jim.
Thank you so much, Sheila. I do hope that we are making Judge Katzmann proud with all the work that we do. And as always, thank you for your inspiring and encouraging message for all of us. So we are going to move